Did you get accepted into nursing school? Congratulations! Now, here's what no one warns you about when you get accepted. Did you know that you have to complete pre orientation requirements? Ugh. These requirements are mission critical. You have to be fully cleared, fully compliant, and ready to hit the ground running as soon as you start school. Skipping even one of these requirements can actually delay your clinical placements, it can block your registration, and it can keep you from participating in essential nursing school activities. These are the top 10 things you need to do right now before you start nursing school orientation. Number 1, get your parking decal early. Parking decals allow you to park on campus so that you're not ticketed and not towed. If you're like me, many of you are going to be attending programs at different schools than where you had taken your prerequisites. So it's really essential to make sure that you're handed this parking decal right away. Number 2, make sure you get your student ID. You're going to need this for everything. Checking into the library, grabbing lunch from the cafeteria, swiping it to get into locked-in buildings, or even showing it when you need to take your exams. No ID, no access, period. Number 3 is you want to make sure that you're meeting the health requirements. We're talking MMR, hepatitis B, varicella, Tdap, and your TB test. Why? Because you're going to be working with real patients. You need to make sure that you are keeping them safe, and it's just as important to make sure that you're safe as well. The school most likely accept 2 forms of documentation, either your vaccination records, or they're going to want you to get titers, which is just a fancy way of saying you're going to have to get blood work done to prove your immunity. And here's the secret. Sometimes you may have gotten your vaccinations, but your titers are going to come back and say, nope, try again. In those situations, you're going to have to make sure that you go back and get those vaccinations in order to get the immunity necessary to attend clinicals while in nursing school. Here's my biggest pro tip in regards to that. You need to create a clinical ready folder, either a digital one, a physical one, whatever works best for you so that you can store all of this information. It's going to carry with you as you get into graduate nurse studies. If you want to become a travel nurse later, you're going to have access to all of these records. So trust me, you'll thank me later. Create the folder now. Number 4, immunizations and testing. There's at least 2 immunizations you're going to have to get, as well as one very important test prior to starting nursing orientation. Number 1 is we have the TB test. So this checks if you've had any exposure to tuberculosis. Most schools want a recent titer on this, likely within the last 6 to 12 months, and it could be a skin test or a blood test. Either way, don't skip it. Personally, I recommend the blood test. It's way more accurate. Your first immunization is going to be that Tdap vaccine. That's your tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis vaccines. Yes, this is what protects babies against whooping cough. So if it's been about 10 years since you've had this immunization done, you're probably going to need to get a booster. And of course, the most popular immunization since 2020 is the COVID vaccine. So yes, there is a very good chance you might have to get the COVID vaccine because it's not the school's requirement, it is the hospital and the facility requirement. So the facilities and the hospitals are going to say either, yes, you're going to have this, it's mandatory, or no, you're okay not to. Just to be fully transparent with you, you're most likely going to have to get it. All hospitals, it seems like right now, is requiring it. So just be prepared as you're entering school. Now, here's a wild card, seasonal flu vaccines. So most school clinical sites require that every single year you get a flu vaccine. If orientation lands outside of flu season, you might be off the hook temporarily, but double check with them just to make sure. Some sites want proof that you've had the previous season's immunizations. So of course, if you're allergic, you're pregnant, or you need another exemption for another reason, your program might offer a waiver. So just speak with them, get an idea of what that looks like so that you can move forward and make sure that you are compliant. So number 5 is physical examination. Yes, I know most of us probably haven't had that done since high school, but you are going to have to make sure that you are physically able to handle this program. They're going to confirm if you can perform nursing duties. So that stands for lifting, standing, moving patients. It's not just a basic checkup. It's going to confirm that you are fit to handle clinical environments. Again, typically these must be within the 6 to 12 month timeline. So make sure you are scheduling with your primary healthcare provider so that you can get that done quickly. Bring any required forms. The schools are usually going to provide you with some kind of physical checkoff form that your provider is going to sign off. And again, make sure that you are keeping this in that clinical ready, either physical or digital folder. It is imperative. Number 6 is drug screening. We need to make sure there's no little monsters hiding in your urine that's going to prevent you from being able to attend your clinicals. And as many of you know, drug tests are done through urine tests. They're ultimately used to screen to make sure that there's nothing in there that's not allowed when you go to your clinical settings. This is a huge requirement because facilities as well as hospitals want to ensure patient safety and that nobody's under the influence when they are coming into those settings. Your program is going to tell you when and where to go to get this done, so don't just show up to a random lab and have one done willy-nilly. They will let you know. Most likely, you are going to have to be cleared before you're allowed to attend clinicals. There is no exceptions to this rule whatsoever. And here's a pro tip. Coming from somebody who's done a lot of drug tests, avoid poppy seeds, CBD products, and anything that could give you a false positive before a test. Trust me, I used to love poppy seed dressings on my salad. I went for a test and they tried to tell me that I was on some kind of drug. Don't do it to yourself. Avoid it at all costs. Number 7, online background checks as well as fingerprinting. Do not wait on this one. The program is going to need to confirm that you meet legal and clinical clearance requirements for the state as well as the assigned healthcare facilities. This usually is going to include a criminal background check as well as fingerprinting. And they're looking at everything. They're looking at criminal history, if you have any felonies, convictions, recent misdemeanors, DUIs, DWIs, domestic violence charges, warrants, unresolved court cases, drug-related offenses, abuse, neglect reports, healthcare infractions, unsolved legal matters, just to name a few. Your school is typically going to provide you with a specific vendor link, something like Castle Branch or Compelio. You're going to use that one and only that one. It may involve you having to schedule an appointment to get your fingerprinting done in person, as well as uploading documents online that are required. And again, make sure you are starting this early. Background checks can take several weeks to process, and there's also a chance that it could be delayed. You don't want to be that person that has to wait until the following semester or until the next cohort in order to start your nursing program because you had to wait on your background check. And number 8 is CPR certification. Most programs require BLS, which also stands for Basic Life Support for healthcare providers. Typically, American Heart Association is the gold standard in regards to acceptable provider cards, but just double check with your school. Some of them will accept other companies. And just give you a heads up, there's a couple different ways that you can actually take your BLS. You can do an in-person class, which means you go in person for the classroom time, as well as do hands-on experience. And then there's also a hybrid version where you take the class online and then you go in for a physical check off on personal skills. This is what I would say. In-person classes are way less expensive than the hybrid classes. You do have to pay not only for the course for the hybrid class, as well as the in-person check off. So if it was me, first time getting my BLS, I say just go in person, save yourself the money. Yes, it's going to require a little bit more time, but you're going to be out very, very quickly. So I wouldn't even worry about that part. Make sure that you have that card saved someplace because it's good for 2 years. Typically with the American Heart Association, you've got 2 years of non-expiration. So you're going to carry that with you even as you go into your graduate studies. Number 9 is online modules and orientation forms. Yuck. These are the required forms and trainings that you're going to have to do prior to starting your nursing program, as well as going to the facilities. There's going to be a couple different things. You're going to have your FERPA release forms, which is just basically a fancy way of saying that they're going to be sharing educational information between facilities or within the system of the institution itself. You've also got HIPAA modules. So HIPAA modules are there so that you don't violate patient safety privacy on day one. Very important you pay attention to those HIPAA modules. You have academic integrity pledges. Don't cheat. Don't help someone cheat. You know the drill. right? They don't take that very kindly in nursing school. So make sure that you're academically ready and prepared. There's going to be other safety and compliancy trainings depending on the school as well. And often it's going to be delivered through the school's portal or a third-party system. It's really easy to forget to do these things. So make sure you're on the lookout for them as you're progressing into your program. Some schools, fully transparent with you, will not allow you to even register for classes or attend clinicals until they are done. So don't fall asleep on these, y'all. And we made it to number 10, final tips for orientation, making sure you're setting yourself up for success. So number 1, print multiple copies of everything. You will thank me later. I'm talking immunizations, physical exam forms, CPR cards, your background checks, everything. You never know when you're going to need it. Sometimes tech fails, or sometimes people miss your stuff and lose it. So you always want to have multiple copies to protect yourself and make sure that you don't have any unexpected delays due to other people's errors. Number 2, create 2 folders. Like I talked about before, a physical folder for your printed documents and a digital folder for all of your digital documents. That's a Google Drive, a Dropbox, whatever it is. Label it clinical ready. You need to have quick access to all of your uploads just in case they're needed in that split moment. Trust me, I've been there. It happens all the time. And then lastly, number 3, join your school's cohorts. So sometimes there's going to be a Facebook page, there's going to be a GroupMe, maybe even like a Discord or something that was created specifically for your school's cohort. Join it. You're going to see real-time reminders, deadline alerts, other people who are struggling with the same things. You're going to see memes, funny things. Everybody's just trying to survive, right? You want to make sure you're in on the know of what is going on so that way you don't miss anything as you're going through your program. And as always, your Nurse Cheung bestie is going to give you a bonus prep. What do you need to do right now prior to starting classes? What do you need to be studying? Let's talk about it. Anatomy and physiology, huge. Review your body systems, your major organs, and your basic functions. Your professors are going to tell you they are not going to teach you anatomy and physiology. You should have taken that prior to starting nursing school. Trust me, this is not going to be the last time you're going to see this content. And of course, nobody's going to teach you the basics. So make sure you know it like the back of your hand. Number 2, dosage calculations. This is make and break when it comes to nursing school. You have to pass dosage calculation in order to move on. And I'm talking 100%, not 99, not 98, 100%. So the earlier you can start practicing basic conversions, dimensional analysis, and safe administration when it comes to medications, it's going to be key. Do it now. It's one of the very first skills that you're going to be tested on as you're going through your fundamentals classes. And then lastly, medical terminology. Know your prefixes, your suffixes, your root words. Understand the language, the medical language that you have to know is going to give you a huge head start as you're going through your program. Yes, we are working on multiple videos on all of these topics. So if you are struggling with any one of these, we will make sure to list those playlists down in the description below. And that's it, besties. That is everything you need to know to get started prior to nursing school. I wish I had somebody like me telling me what to do because I was lost going through nursing school. If you found this information helpful, make sure that you leave a comment down below, like this video, and of course, I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye!